Today you'll be feeling social, fidgety, and ready to exchange information. That's because the moon has moved out of the peaceful, practical sign of Taurus and into the much more restless and intellectually stimulating sign of Gemini. Greetings, Randy Gove here, and welcome to It's It and That's That. In this moon signs playlist, we're talking about how people's behavior changes as the moon moves from sign to sign through the zodiac. Today the moon is in Gemini, but if you're watching this video on a different date than the one shown here, then you can use the link in the description to check the current moon sign and then jump to the appropriate video. The moon takes a month to orbit the Earth. It spends about 2.5 days in each of the zodiac signs. And the moon is kind of like a spotlight that shines on that zodiac sign, so everybody's personality behaves more like that zodiac sign the moon is in. Today, the spotlight is in Gemini. Let's start with the Gemini glyph. Glyphs are these really old, mostly unclear symbols that represent each of the zodiac signs. Here's the one for Gemini, and they're not too clear. I mean, it kind of looks like a railroad crossing or an Asian temple, maybe a pi sign standing on a bridge. Anywho, Gemini's mascot is the twin, so the two lines represent the twins. Gemini is also ruled by the planet Mercury, which is responsible for intellect and communication. Mercury also has its own glyph. Gemini also rules the arms, hands, brain, mouth, lungs, and the nervous system. Here are some Gemini keywords that you can peruse. I will use them to explain the Gemini vibe. How to observe the Gemini moon. Well, recall when the moon was in Taurus, people were very chill. They just wanted creature comfort, sitting at home on the sofa with a glass of wine, listening to some music. That all changes abruptly when the moon moves into Gemini, because then people are all about communication, chatting, socializing, collecting information as much as they can, including some juicy gossip. Their brains are really restless and just seeking information. They'll be grabbing their phone, magazines, even cereal boxes to collect whatever information they can. It doesn't matter the source. The Gemini moon is the best time of the month for communication. Doesn't matter by phone, email, text, carrier pigeon, whatever. Just let people know what you're doing and find out what they're doing. Now, meetings can be quite productive, but they can get really chatty as people jump from topic to topic to topic. So if you're running the meeting, it's best to have an agenda and keep people on task. Gossip can be a problem during this time. It can really spread like wildfire. It's really good time to learn some new techniques and learn new ideas as long as they're not too deep. If you try to do something that's really complicated, try to solve some complex problem, you may find it difficult because your brain will just jump to whatever distractions are available. Multitasking is really good during the Gemini moon because it's very easy to just move from task to task or doing multiple tasks at the same time. Moon in Gemini is good for singles because it's a very flirtatious time. People move like social butterflies from place to place and person to person. It's also a good time to connect to your partner through some fun, witty conversation, or just learning new things, or just exchanging information. It's really a good time to share your thoughts with each other, more so than your feelings. Intimacy can also become rather talkative, emphasizing the mouth and the hands. People's language skills are very fluent at this time, so they can also be really good at lying. Be careful not to believe everything you hear today. What about kids? Well, you'll notice kids will be pairing up today. Nobody wants to be alone during the Gemini moon. Classrooms will be really chatty and difficult to keep quiet. You're better off giving the kids some topics to discuss or some hands-on activities rather than some rigorous lessons. Money may not seem any more interesting today than any other topic during the Gemini moon. You probably do have to be a little bit careful of buying things impulsively on social media platforms. For example, maybe you get excited about a class, you want to learn something new, But in a couple days, your enthusiasm may wane when the moon moves into the more emotional sign of Cancer. It's a good time to collect information about investments, but you probably don't want to act on them now. Wait until the moon moves into a more earthy sign, such as Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. People have very hyperactive nervous systems and mental activity during the moon in Gemini, so you may find it difficult to fall asleep at night. All those conversations and thoughts just start running like a hamster on a wheel in there. It feels engaging at the time, but can really wear you out with all the socializing and chattiness and information exchanges that are going on during the moon in Gemini. So it's really a good idea to save some time at the end of the day to calm down and meditate so that you can have a good sleep. In contrast to the comfy clothes of the Taurus moon, during the moon in Gemini, people will go for clothes they think are interesting, perhaps with a unique design or some interesting pattern to it, or they'll choose some t-shirts, maybe it has a message or some slogan on it. Also, because Gemini rules the arms and the hands, bracelets, rings, new coat of fingernail polish are all desirable. Maybe it's time to get a manicure. Gemini people are born between May 21st and June 21st. That's because the sun was in Gemini when they were born. Now, when the moon passes into Gemini, it's kind of like a spotlight shining on their sun. So you may be thinking more about your Gemini family, friends, or celebrities during that time. Now, Gemini people tend to be sort of taller and thinner than their siblings, and they often have sort of long legs and long arms, long hands. They're usually really good with their hands. Many of them can juggle. A lot of them are ambidextrous. They're also very fluent speakers, so many of them are bilingual. And usually they speak with their hands a bit. Also, their eyes are very flirtatious. Here are a few of my favorite Gemini celebrities. You can mention yours in the comments. There are many flirtatious-eyed, tall, thin Gemini models and spokesmodels, including Naomi Campbell and Heidi Klum. As far as actors and actresses, you got Angelina Jolie, Nicole Kidman, Natalie Portman, Chris Evans, and Johnny Depp. As far as athletes, NBA, I like Dirk Nowitzki and Drew Holiday. For the NFL, you got Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, and Christian McCaffrey. You can generate good luck today by focusing on communication, collect relevant information for projects, and improve your relationships. Now's your chance, because in a couple days, the moon is going to move into the much more emotional and withdrawn sign of Cancer. It's it, and that's that for this video. Enjoy your day, and see you in the future.